Hey
What up?
everyone, welcome to the episode 2 of the Cantina podcast.
The first episode may have or may not be lost.
We may never air the first episode.
It may be it might be a Patreon. You have to pay $50 a month to be a part of. We'll send you a little shot in the mail of whatever we tasted.
We'll see what happens. First on today, our first guest, Jim Tebone.
It's supposed to be a nice weekend coming up.
Yeah?
68, 70, sunny.
No more the rain.
No more rain.
That rain, man. Rain, go away.
I know, right?
Holy hell.
5 inches in Central Park over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's what the ladies say about me. Yeah?
Right,
So let me read this real quick. Korean hooker.
right.
After 7 years, she became a prostitute and massage parlor.
You gotta get up on it, Jim.
So you were
On the
dating
mic.
her for 7 years?
We lived together in Manhattan.
You lived together with the Korean hooker before she became a prostitute.
Right.
And
She was a
after-
waitress.
After 7 years together,
She didn't start coming home.
she didn't start coming home.
Right. So I became a detective, like Columbo.
Detective like Columbo.
Like, and I followed her work. Hi, everybody. My name is Jim Tebow. I'm
Perfect,
from the Bronx,
perfect.
New York.
Perfect, Jimmy.
I got some funny stories for you. Let me just start off. I grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts. I came to New York when I was 25 with a Korean lady, lovely lady. We lived in Worcester for about a year, and then she discovered a Korean New York Times newspaper, and she said to me, "Well, let's go to New York." I said, "Let's go." Got on the bus. With the TV and all that jazz, and we ended up in a motel, Walcott Motel, a Korean establishment, and we stayed there for 2 nights.
Now, how'd she get here to America from Korea? What was her reason for coming here? How'd she get here? How'd the Korean lady...
Well, the Korean lady married a GI in Korea,
Okay.
an American. He was in the army. The Korean lady got divorced. She divorced him, and she became friends with my next door neighbor, and he married a Korean lady. So, and then I got involved with her, and she would call me up, and the big question was, "Do you have time?" And you know what that meant.
What did that mean? What did that mean?
What's F-U-C-K?
Oh. How old were you at this time?
I was 24.
24.
So you met the Korean hooker when you were
24.
24, but she wasn't a hooker yet. Korean lady. She was
She wasn't a hooker.
24
She wasn't
No.
a professional woman. She was just.
she was a
lady.
waitress.
No, she's in Worcester. She worked in a sewing company.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like a
So-
sweatshop.
sweatshop.
That's
Exactly.
actually okay.
So, anyways, we moved to New York. We stayed in the hotel for a couple nights, and then she got the Korean newspaper, and then we moved into a residence in Queens.
Wait. I'm not too sure. Why was the reason you guys came to New York? She saw it in a newspaper.
Korean New York Times.
Okay.
She obtained that somehow in Worcester, Mass.
The Korean New York Times.
Right.
And then she's like, I want to go to New York.
Yeah, so
Not
I
enough
just-
Koreans in Worcester.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
So we moved to New York.
And she spoke English good or well?
Not really.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
But you guys spoke the language of love.
That's it. So we moved into with a Korean family for 6 months. This was in Corona, Queens.
You moved in
excuse
there
me, Ringo
with her.
Park. Yeah, we both moved together
Moved in with a Korean family.
with a Korean family.
She knew this family, or
No, just she rented a room
Oh, okay.
okay.
from the Korean New York Times
Okay.
paper.
I didn't know Koreans do that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So.
I always assumed only Mexicans and Central Americans kind of did that thing over here.
Right.
But then again, when I think back, as a
Well,
kid,
this
I had a Filipino family living underneath us, the basement apartment,
Right.
and they were packed in there like sardines. They must have been like 20
What
living
year
there.
was this again? I'm sorry, I might have asked that already. But
That's okay. Let's see. let's see, it's 2023, and 1983 would be 40. 1982.
1982. You moved to New York.
And that's
Yes.
And you haven't left since. You've been,
No.
but you got the heavy accent.
Well,
You still got the heavy, thick.
I did leave when I
Massachusetts
broke up with the hooker. The
woman.
The Korean lady. She became a hooker, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, all right. Before we get any further, you met her. She was a seamstress.
Right.
And then you guys moved to New York.
Right.
How long were you guys together for when you moved to New York?
We lived in Worcester, Mass. for a year.
A year. And
Right.
then you decided to move together.
Right.
So now she's in New York.
Right.
How long is she in New York until she becomes a prostitute?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah. She was a waitress.
So she's a waitress for 7 years.
Right.
And then she decided to become a prostitute.
Right.
And you were with her this whole time.
Yes.
So you guys were together for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So what? It seems like she was a regular 9 to 5, a job.
Right.
That's as they
Exactly.
say in the wrestling
Yeah.
world.
Right.
What pushed her
It's not a jobber, but
to become? Well, I don't know what a job is. What pushed her? Because it's a drastic change in.
Right.
yeah, direction.
Yeah.
I think it was the cash.
Cash
The
money.
money. Wasn't enough as a
No.
waitress.
Right. Right.
But it was lucrative.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, when I found out she was a prostitute,
Yeah, how did you find out she was a prostitute?
I became a detective.
Okay, so go ahead. Elaborate on that.
Like Detective Columbo. She wasn't coming home, so I followed her to work. And very secretly, I ended up on 28th Street, 7th Avenue, with a big sign, massage parlor.
Ah, that kind of hooker.
So I didn't say anything for a while.
You didn't go get a massage?
I should have. So, anyways, I was very upset, and I said to her, why don't you go back and waitressing, whatever. She says no. Well, anyways, we moved to Astoria, Queens, and from 36th Street in Lexington to a 3-bedroom apartment in Astoria, Queens. And she rented out the 2 bedrooms, so she wouldn't have, pay. So I was paying $650 for rent per month. She was paying $100,
Damn, that's
$150, because we had 2 other roommates, guys. And it was okay. And but when I found out she was a hooker, I put all my stuff in my car and I moved back to Massachusetts.
okay.
I stayed with a friend in Worcester, Mass. Got a job right away. And after a couple of weeks, I'm in an Irish pub, and I'm with 4 ladies. And I asked one lady, "You want to go smoke a little cannabis?" She says, "Okay."
All right.
And this, what year is this?
What year is it? Good question. Probably, let's say 1990.
1990.
The 90s.
Yeah.
1991.
Good times.
So,
Building a timeline.
anyways, this lady, she was a doctor, Candy Smith, with a black Mercedes-Benz. My age, she grew up like 10 miles from where I grew up, Holden, Mass. She just got divorced. She was living in Florida, so she had Florida tags. And everything, her name was Candy Smith again.
Timestamp that.
And I'm staying with her. I'm staying with a friend of mine and whatever. And in the meantime, the hooker's calling me up and says, "Jimmy, I love you. Come back to New York."
Wait, so, what did this other lady do?
She was a medical doctor. She was a medical.
So you upgraded from a hooker to a doctor.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
That's quite the upgrade.
That's an upgrade, right?
Yeah, that's a good upgrade.
It is. So I said, listen, to the hooker, I said, listen, one stipulation, get a regular job and stop screwing guys some money. She says, okay. Well, that never happened. Yeah.
Well, I would assume because she fell into that line of work.
Right.
It's a kind of a hard line to cross. I think once you cross that line, how can you really
Go back.
No,
Right.
what compelled you to go back to the hooker when you were dating a doctor?
I was still in love with the hooker. You know?
I'm in love with a stripper.
I wasn't-
Yeah, it happens.
I was in love with the doctor, but I was still in love with the hooker. You know?
Okay, fair enough.
So what should I repeat now?
So you skipped the part over here, Jimmy. The teeth. The
Oh,
freebase?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whose teeth? Because you didn't mention whose teeth.
The hooker's teeth.
The hooker's
Wait,
teeth
what
fell out.
happened?
Yeah.
The hooker's teeth fell
She
out.
was freebasing cocaine in front of me for 2 years.
Okay, and
For
this
a
is
year.
when she was a hooker, I would
Right.
assume. Okay.
You think
Right.
the freebase made her become?
A hooker? Probably. You know, you got to chase that money for the drug.
I never
Freebasing.
thought about that. That's a good point.
Well,
Maybe
Right,
she was
because-
freebasing when she was a waitress.
Could be. That's a
she might have been a waitress. She might have met some guy who convinced her to, hey, you can make real money being a hooker. Who
Right.
also gave her drugs.
Right, there you
Yeah.
go.
Well,
you know.
in the restaurant industry,
Yes.
it's a taxing job.
Yeah,
Right.
a
You're
lot of
working
them-
12, 13, 14-hour days, open and close. And a lot of times you're servicing people, you're being on hand for them, and you may need some kind of escape while you're at work.
Right,
Some guys turn to liquor,
right,
some guys turn to other kinds of drugs.
right.
You know, speed,
That's true.
meth, coke.
Right,
Coke being a big one.
right.
So maybe that's where she picked it up.
Maybe.
And then she couldn't scratch that itch. Right?
That's funny.
So she had to find different means of making the freebase money.
Right. So here she is. She's freebasing cocaine in front of me for about a year, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "What are you doing?" This is
That
my
wasn't
ma-
your cup of tea.
No, it wasn't after a while.
Okay, yeah. After a while.
Did she pick up any tricks? Did she get better at what she was doing? But when you guys were intimate still during this time.
Yeah, but listen to me. When I used to smoke this stuff, I used to get so horny. And she was saying, Don't touch me. Don't touch me now." And she was such a control freak over this shit.
Of course.
That I had to wait an hour to take the next blast.
Jeez.
I'm looking at the watch. You know?
What a demanding hooker. And you were in love with this girl. She got you hooked on smoking, freebasing coke, and then she wouldn't let you have any. And then you went from a lady doctor back to this hooker gym, and you were in love with this.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, listen.
She smoked so much cocaine that her teeth fell out.
Hey.
She had to get dentures at 35. Well, no, 40. Whatever.
Listen, the hard ones are the hard ones, I guess.
Yeah.
And you wanted a freebasing hooker.
So, where was I now? So, yeah, I went back to New York, went back to Massachusetts, you know. And anyways, I came back to New York. She never changed. And we've been, like every month, we drive back to Massachusetts. So I said to her, "Listen, I got to go to Sears and Roebuck to get 4 new Michelin tires for my car." Okay.
What kind of car?
It was a Firebird.
Ooh.
Pontiac Firebird?
Pontiac Firebird.
Damn.
What year?
Blowing down there.
1977.
This is 1977.
Right.
Oh, the Pontiac is 1977, but the
It was
timeline...
90s, right?
It was like 90, 92.
90s. Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Damn.
So anyways, we pull into the thing, and I gave her a Ben Franklin. I said, "Go buy some horny panties." So
Wait,
What were you doing at this time?
I was the manager in a restaurant.
Okay.
Right. So she goes in the store, or whatever, I forget the name of the store. And I'm watching the guys put the tires on my car. And the door opens up, and guess who drives in? The lady doctor, Dr. Candy Smith, in a black Mercedes-Benz.
Timestamp that?
With
how am I timestamping this?
Well, it's all right. We'll just have to edit that lady's name out.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
with the mother.
With the mother. The
So
doctor
she
and
asked
the
me,
mother.
"Hi, Jimmy, how you doing?" I said, "Hi, Candy." I said, Christ, I don't know what to say now. what if the hooker comes back? Because the doctor doesn't know about the hooker.
Of course.
And the hooker doesn't know about the doctor.
Right.
So,
And you're a man in between these two
right.
Goliaths.
So, anyways, I told the lady, "Listen, I'm here to see my brother, whatever, and whatever. I'll give you a call," which I never did. So, anyways, nothing happened.
They didn't see the hooker.
No, they left. The doctor was in the garage for about 5 minutes. 10 minutes, let's say.
Okay.
Just to check the battery or something.
Yeah,
wrong with the
yeah,
fucking battery.
something like that.
So here I am, shitting bricks, nervous. What if the Korean hooker comes back and who's this?
Yeah.
I'm in hot water, right? So, anyways, that went all right. So, yeah. So, anyways, after 10 years, I says to the hooker, total of 10 years, I says, Fordham University, F you.
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
and
Finally
then
woke up, said enough of this
right,
hooker business.
right. And then we moved to Queens before that. And, we were spending all the money on the freebase stuff, so, I never could save a dime.
Yeah.
And so the land.
So wait, after you broke it off with the Korean woman, where did you go from there? You were in Queens. You broke it off. It was her apartment, no?
We moved back to Queens.
You and the Korean hooker, but
Yeah.
you were still living with her,
Right.
Even though you told her
No, that's before it. Before the finale, before that happened.
So what happened when you broke up with her?
So, let's see. So, anyways, we were living in we rented a room in a private house, and the landlord, when he went belly up, they foreclosed his house. So I became homeless.
Okay.
So then I ended up in Central Park West for 1 to 2 years. And
In the park,
yeah.
not on Central Park West,
No,
the high rise.
in the park, right?
Yeah, don't
I like
man.
the address, though.
Yeah. I like to see it. Yeah, I was living on Central
Put that
Park
on your
West.
resume. So finally I got my stuff together. I got a room from public assistance down the Bowery.
Okay.
And then I was in Queens one time, and I see this sign that says, if you want to apply for Section 8 housing, come here. Come inside. So I did that. So I applied for Section 8 housing, and finally I got it after 1 or 2 years. And then I moved to the Bronx.
And you've been here ever since?
And I've been here ever since. So when I'm in the Bronx, I met these two black ladies at a party. And I invited them home, and they never left. They stayed for 5 years.
Were they?
And they were hookers too.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say.
How'd you meet him?
At a party.
At a party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what kind of party was
I
it?
don't know.
Jim, so you have a specific type of woman you gravitate towards.
I don't know. I think it was just alcohol. I think.
That's
Well, anyways,
it's made a fool of us all at one point.
They were a couple of prostitutes too, and they smoke crack. So yeah.
Okay,
so here we go again.
Yeah, you're back right. You're into it now. You double up. Instead of one, you're dealing with two.
So right. So one of the black girls, her name is Robin. Oh, I can't say that Robin. Well, whatever.
Well, you
You
can
see
say
the
we
first
can
name.
say Robin.
First name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Robin had big tits,
All right.
and she'd take her tits out and showing them, and they squirt the milk at me.
She would squirt milk out.
Yeah.
Did you
So
drink
she
the
must have
milk?
just
How'd it taste? Good.
Oh yeah. Just like mother's milk. So, anyways, her name was Robin, of course, and she moved back. She had enough of this, and so she moved back to South Carolina.
Okay.
So now I got Michelle. Michelle's petite, and
Wasn't squirting milk
no,
out of
she
her
wasn't
tits, huh?
squirting milk. And it was a platonic relationship with both of these ladies. You know,
Platonic.
nothing happened.
Okay.
So you
You
never-
were just
Nothing
buddies.
happened. Nothing
You just
happened.
party mates.
Right, party mates. That's good. That's good hearsay. I never heard that before. So, anyways, the black girlfriend, gets a boyfriend, and she invites him into the apartment. So now, I've had enough of everything. Now I've got to get an eviction notice.
Okay. And this is your apartment, right?
Right, my.
And how many
apartment.
rooms was this?
It's a 1-bedroom.
1 bedroom. So
Right.
you in 1 bedroom.
Right, but I gave them the living room.
Okay.
And
you
I was
took
on
the
the
bedroom.
couch.
You on the couch.
Right.
But
Right.
who took the bedroom?
The boyfriend and the
Oh,
black
so you gave them the bedroom, and
Right.
you stayed in the living room.
Right, right. Nice
Too
guy,
nice.
huh?
Too nice,
Too
Jimmy.
nice, Jim.
Nice. So, in the meantime, the boyfriend dies from a crack overdose.
Holy hell! In the apartment.
Oh, I don't know where.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not funny, but it's funny.
It's
now.
funny. It's pretty funny. Don't worry about it. Fuck him. He's dead. He fucking kicked you out of your own room. Fuck him. That's what he gets.
So now it took me 6 months to get this lady out, and a good friend of mine, John, the lawyer, helped me out.
He helped you get him out of the
Yes.
apartment.
Yes.
Okay, so this was what year was this?
Good question. Boy.
Where did you find him?
I found John, and John, he used to own a cheese shop on Arthur Avenue.
And the apartment was where?
The apartment was on Adams Place,
Adam's place. Okay.
which is I can throw a baseball and hit Prince. It's very close to the cheese shop,
Right.
like maybe a 2-minute walk. So John and I became friends, and we hung out at the store and we drank Modelo Black. And we had cheese, of course, and salami and stuff like that.
Right.
And then I ran into John. I said, John, I got a problem. I gotta get this lady out of here. Can you help me out? Yeah, no problem. He filled out the paperwork, blah blah blah. Nice guy. No charge. But I bought beers, whatever. You know, when I had I'm not a cheapskate, whatever. So finally get her out of there. All right, now I'm living alone. Now this is going on for about 2 or 3 years. Maybe a year or two. So now I'm in this European bar on 187th, and in walks this short lady, about 4'9", 4'10", and she sits down next to me, and I'm huffing a bag. And,
You're huffing a
my
bag?
name is Rennie.
Half in a bag or half in the bag?
Half in a bag.
What's that mean?
Half.
Half?
Half.
Half.
Half. Like 50%?
Yeah, you're that Boston accent. You've been here a long time. You still got that Boston accent. So half in a bag. He's like drunk. He's like half drunk. He's.
I never heard that before.
You never heard half
Half
in
in
a
a
bag?
bag, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half in a bag.
So we become friends, whatever, and she walks me home. She's originally from Sofia, Bulgaria, and by this time I'm totally incapacitated. So anyway, she leaves, and I says, listen, come by the following day, like 12, 1, I'll take it for lunch.
What are you?
Which she did.
Gentleman you are.
Which she did, right?
Okay.
But I'm afraid that she's going to take advantage of me like everybody else does.
Sure.
So I never answered the door.
Mm.
So in the meantime, she disappears to Atlantic City for a month. She likes to gamble.
Fair enough.
So then she comes back, and then I meet her again at B&G Clothes on 187.
Which is no longer in business.
No.
They're been replaced by State Farm Insurance.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is now.
Right.
Or it was a pharmacy or now
It was
State
a
Farm Insurance?
pharmacy, now it's State Farm, I
Right.
think.
It was a big clothing store in the neighborhood for a long
Right.
time.
Oh, it's very famous.
As long as
Yeah.
I can remember.
Right.
And then
Oh,
it
yeah.
closed down. What year would you say it closed down? 2007, 2008?
Yeah, I think that's a good answer.
Around there.
Yeah,
Right,
because
okay.
I started going to Vinny. The owner's name was Vinny, and I bought a lot of stuff from Vinny, and that was like 2004 to 2005. So we met each other. Rainey and I met each other again at Vinny's place, and it's so ironical that Rainey bought a lot of clothes and I bought a lot of clothes. So we said hi and goodbye, and then I meet her again on 187th, the first, like this European bar again, and then we started dating. Rennie had an apartment on Washington Avenue, a studio. So I would stay there. She would stay on Adams Place, and we saw each other every day. And one day, we decided to go to Coney Island for a day.
Coney
Island. Coney Island in Brooklyn.
Of course.
So we take a taxi ride there. We ended up staying there a week. Stayed
In Coney Island.
Coney Island. Slept on the beach with the umbrellas, blankets, etc.
That sounds sort of romantic. But...
Beach chairs.
Beach. Yeah.
So you camped out on Coney Beach, on Coney Island. You camped out on the beach
Yes.
for a week.
But one day we stayed in a dingy motel, because it was pouring out. I had to go down to. What a place this was. Oh, my God, disgusting. Got the portal TV there, you know. The VHS tapes.
Yeah.
You know. So we left the next day. And there was something peculiar about this lady. Something's not right with this lady. Because she would always collect garbage.
Okay.
And I asked her, why are you doing this? Taking bags. I never figured out. Because she didn't tell me she was bipolar and agoraphobic.
And what exactly is that? What do you mean by agoraphobic and bipolar? How'd you
Well, agoraphobic is a sickness where you're afraid to be out in open spaces with people.
Okay.
So you're more or less confined to your own environment. Like it's very difficult for you to go on trips.
Yeah.
To be around people, a lot of people. You become panic. You have a panic attack. So in bipolar, it's like the stock market.
Yep.
And the whole thing is you have to take a medication. You need to become stable. Now, let me jump to... I'm going to tell you what happened. She was in St. Barnabas Hospital, psych ward, and she says to me, I want to go back to Sofia, Bulgaria. I said, okay, fine. I said to her, make sure you take the medication on the trip. Well, that never happened.
Okay. She went without her meds to Bulgaria.
Oh, what a disaster.
I mean,
But let me hold on. How did you guys get to Bulgaria if you guys are camping out on Coney Island and she's collecting garbage?
No, we stayed there a week and we came back.
Okay.
We came back. This is in 2009.
But where, obviously, plane ticket costs money.
Right.
Staying in some kind of place in Bulgaria costs money.
Right.
So were you guys working at that time? Was she working at that time?
No. She owned 2 apartments and a store in Bulgaria. So
2 apartments in a store in Bulgaria.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
she owned 2 apartments and a store in Bulgaria?
Right.
So what the hell is she doing here?
She came here. She married a American guy. She was the second person to come to America from Bulgaria.
Ever?
Yes. And
The second person from her town, or like of all of Bulgaria?
I think all of Bulgaria.
You're a little too high in gain.
Pretty sure about that. So anyway, she was married 3 times.
Okay.
What happened was with the first marriage, he was a professional gambler. He worked for Verizon telephone company. He made good money, but it all went to Atlantic City.
Of course.
And by the way, she raped the husband.
Raped?
She raped
Raped him?
Raped him.
Like physically raped? Like sexual assault rape?
Yeah, right. And that's how the stupid son was born.
Ah, the stupid son. I've heard you mention the stupid son before.
You're going to ask me how stupid is he?
How stupid is he?
He can't spell the word stupid. I hope I didn't see this shit.
Well, we probably won't. I don't think you will.
Yeah, hope not. So after that, she divorced the gambler, and now she's in a Bulgarian church, and she meets this older guy. So she falls in love with him, and he's 20 years older than she is. So they get married. They're married for 10 years. and he passes away. So she's at the time she's 43 years old. She's a widow, but the guy left her a chunk of change, like $300,000 or $400,000.
Wow.
Yeah. He was a dental technician, and he saved all the gold and the silver from the people's teeth. And she put all the gold and silver underneath their bed. And the son knew about this, and the son took the gold and silver and sold it to a delicatessen for $200. And the gold and silver was worth about $40,000 or $50,000. So that happened there.
You ain't kidding. He's stupid.
Right. So, let's see. So after that, the second husband told her, don't ever get married again. Well, anyways, her aunt from Bulgaria came to Astoria. She was living in Astoria, Queens. And the aunt fixed her up with a Bulgarian guy, and he took her to the cleaners. He was charging her $2,000 a month to babysit the idiot.
The idiot.
He was living in Manhattan. She was living in Queens. And so he was charging her $2,000 a month to take care of the kid. So anyway, she divorced him. So she divorced 3 times. No, divorced twice. And
Widowed once.
The middle guy, the middle husband, he there was no divorce. He just passed away.
Right.
So, let's see, where am I? Anyways, I'll get my line of thought here now.
You were, you said she wanted to go back to Bulgaria, right? That was
Yeah, right.
So she had the money to go. It's not like...
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Because she's 2 houses and a store that she owned?
2 apartments.
2 apartments
Right.
and a store.
I think we should finish off with the Bulgarian story.
Okay.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Huh?
The Bulgarian story.
Only.
I think we should finish off with the podcast with the Bulgarian story. I think we
Okay.
should tell a Bulgarian story,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap this up. We'll call it quits with today.
Okay. So let me get back to, I'm going to talk about mental illness. I know a lot about this now, but I didn't know a lot about it before. So she became manic in Bulgaria after 5 weeks. She disappeared for 2 days.
You went with her, right? to
Yes.
Bulgaria. Okay.
Right.
You don't speak Bulgarian.
A little bit.
A little
Not
bit.
much.
Okay.
How do you say hello in Bulgarian?
Drove.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So anyways.
Mashka, I think, is Crush.
Mashka's Crush.
I think so. I don't know. Rusev Mashka. He's
I'll
a
have to
wrestler.
ask her.
Yeah.
So anyways, she became manic. She disappeared. And when you're manic, you like to spend money. You're reckless with the dollar. You go crazy. It's like a euphoria. Like spending money is it's a high. So she disappears for gambling for 2 days. She comes back, whatever. And now I notice she spent a lot of cash. In the meantime, we're in this bar and we run into this guy, and she says, I don't want to see this guy. Well, anyways, we run into him. There's a small neighborhood in Sofia. Everybody knows each other.
Right.
And we run into this guy again. Well, she's mania, and she's the life of the party, and she's like a prima donna, queen. She's a big shot. So she invites him over. Now he's a heroin addict. Now he invites all his friends over. Now it's a big party in Sofia, Bulgaria. Right? She goes downstairs. We can buy a liquor. And she comes up. Back in Bulgaria, they have liquor stores where it's in the basement. Like you open by the sidewalk. You open a door and there it is. You know. She comes up with a case of booze, cigarettes, in the party light, right. So anyways, she cut my passport in half.
Why?
I don't know. She was very upset at me. I never really asked her. A good question.
You never really. She got your passport up, and you never really asked.
I gotta ask her.
Why did she have you? Why didn't you have your passport? Why did she have possession of your passport?
Good question. But, I don't know how that happened. So,
Okay, that's a good question.
and now the heroin addict convinces her to buy a car. Now she buys a car.
In Bulgaria.
In Bulgaria.
Do you remember what kind of car it was?
A big station wagon. It cost $7,000.
Okay.
And now we're going to go to the Black Sea. The Black Sea is 8 hours away by car. So they want to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, listen, let's go in the morning. Let's make a plan. I'm an organized person. I need to write down a list what I need to bring and all that. Well, anyway, she disappears and with the 3 heroin addicts, and they drove to the Black Sea.
Now, you couldn't be surprised by that.
Oh, I was devastated.
You were devastated, but like you didn't expect her to do that with a couple of heroin addicts just pick up.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know what to think.
Uh-huh.
So, and now I run out of cash.
And you're by yourself in Bulgaria?
Yeah, for a whole month.
Nobody else?
No.
No phone?
There was a phone.
Where was she?
Landline.
Okay, landline.
She was at the Black Sea.
So for a whole month, she was at the Black Sea?
Yeah.
And you were just stuck in Bulgaria?
Sofia.
She cut your shit up, your passport up.
Right.
She left you to go to the Black Sea for a month. Well,
right.
At least she said she went to the Black Sea.
Right.
Who knows where the hell she
right.
went?
Who knows?
And you were just in her apartment?
Right.
Okay.
I got a
no
job.
No way home, no money.
Right. I got a job.
You got a job in Bulgaria?
With a fruits and vegetable guy next, because he used to sell fruits and vegetables outside her apartment.
Okay.
His apartment was on the first floor.
Okay.
So I helped him out in the morning, and I helped him out in the evening. Just take the boxes out and set it up.
Yeah.
Set the fruits and vegetables up. He gave me.
I know a guy who does that.
He do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fruits and vegetable guy.
All right. So he would give me $10 a day. So you know what? And that was enough for cigarettes and a few beers, and I was happy as a pig and shit. So now I'm I know I can't travel. So now I'm in a music store, and I hear these teenagers speak English. Now they're from the Mormon church, so I went down to the Mormon church.
Well, they got Mormons out in Bulgaria?
Yes.
They got Mormons everywhere.
Yeah.
So they're from, I assume, Utah,
right.
and they live in Bulgaria trying to recruit people?
It's a 2 month. It's a 2 month stint, apprenticeship.
Yeah,
whatever,
whatever
like
they
that,
do.
Right. So I went down to Mormon church and I borrowed 150.
On the podcast.
So 100 hours, 150 leather. I borrowed that. I get the passport. Then I called Vinny, B&G closed for $650. Vinny, please Western Union me $650, and I'll pay it back when I get home, whatever. Okay, no problem. So he Western Unions me $650. So great, I have the passport. I was there 3 months. Now, if
you were in Bulgaria for 3
months,
and the Mormons helped you get your passport.
Yeah, they gave me the money, and then I got the passport by myself.
And you never became a Mormon?
No.
Those guys can't do anything to help anyone become a Mormon, right? Not even get your passport back.
The rescue out of Bulgaria still not enough to convert.
So in the meantime, I booked a flight, whatever. And in the meantime, right after that, I run into a Bulgarian guy, and he's fluent in English. So I become friends with this guy. So we went out and got drunk, and we ate at a Bulgarian restaurant. And he comes back to her apartment at midnight, and I said, listen, you got to leave. He says, okay. I wake up the next morning. The ticket's on a coffee table, but the new passport had disappeared.
Get the fudge out of here.
He stole the new passport because he could sell it for $20K on the black market.
Oh, my God.
So I call him up, and he says, oh, you lost your fucking passport. I said, yeah. I said, listen, I want it back. I'm going to go to Bulgarian Police Department. So I get it back the next day, Sunday afternoon, like 2 p.m.
So he gave it back?
Yeah.
He said, I don't want no problems.
Right.
Okay.
So I called Bulgarian Air, and I said, Jimmy, you missed the flight. There's a €200 penalty. Now I need €200. Now, €200 was equivalent to $380 back then.
Uh-huh.
So now it's back to the Mormon church. So now I got on and get the ticket. I got a new ticket, and I got out of there the next Saturday, a week later. She ended up in 2 nut houses in Bulgaria. She must have spent about at least $100K with the junkies.
Ugh.
Well, they spent it. She got a tattoo, a little tattoo the size of a dime, of a Hitler.
Of Hitler?
A Hitler sign.
The Nazi
swastika?
symbol. The swastika?
Yeah, swastika.
Holy
Oh, no.
smoke.
Yeah. I know. With the flying eagle tattoo.
Some girls have a crisis, they have a little butterfly. This one gets a swastika. Holy hell, Jim. You know how to pick them.
So, anyways, her cousin who lives in Vienna, Austria, who grew up in Sofia, Bulgaria, came to Sofia and got her a passport because she loses a passport like you change your underwear.
Okay.
Must have been her 20th passport she lost. So anyway, it was this cousin bailed her out, got the passport, whatever, got her a ticket. She called me up, Jimmy, can I come home? I screwed up. I said, yeah, come on back. So that was 6 months later. I ended up back in New York in July, and she ended up back in New York in November of the same year.
What year was this?
2000, no, she ended up in January. Yeah, in January 2010, and I ended up, so it's a separation of 6 months.
Yeah, let's open up for them. Open up for FedEx. Jimmy, let's put this on pause for a second. Let me just deal with fucking FedEx outside.
Okay.
All right, that was the end of episode 2 of the Arthur Cantina podcast. Sorry for the abrupt end. As you can see, we're still learning our way and trying to figure this whole thing out. Stay tuned for part 2, Jim Tebone. Like, share, subscribe. I'm sure we're going to make a lot of mistakes before we get any better. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.